Beans, and welcome back to What the Friday, a weekly segment where I tell you the 3 things I found during my research that made me say, what the Friday? This week, in honor of our upcoming 2-part episode on Jeffrey Dahmer, I will be talking about serial killers. So let's start with Jeff. 1. Jeffrey Dahmer, also known as the Milwaukee Cannibal, once told an interviewer that he would not eat anyone who had tattoos because the ink made them taste funny, which I'm pretty sure is a recycled clown joke. Also, Recycled Clown Joke is now the name of my parody heavy metal band. Dahmer was also known for his twisted sense of humor, which is why, if it wasn't for all the psychotic killing, cannibalism, and sex zombie experiments, we probably could have been friends. Most of the time, Jeff was a friendly, albeit weird guy, which is part of why he's so scary. He got along well with his neighbors and sometimes would pop by their apartments to hang out with some sandwiches he made for lunch. One such neighbor is terrified to this day that the tuna sandwich Jeffrey Dahmer made her for lunch wasn't exactly as advertised, saying, quote, "I have probably eaten someone's body part." The audacity of this statement, let us admit, is kind of hilarious. Do I think she ate some filet of Phil? No. Jeff's whole thing is that he's not real big on sharing. However, I do love the thought that perhaps the whole thing was the best passive-aggressive trolling in the history of the world, with Dahmer chuckling to himself in his cell thinking, "Oh yeah, Pam? Well, joke's on you. It was just tuna." 2. There are a lot of cities in the United States that we all immediately recognize as dangerous, but did you know that the most dangerous is Anchorage, Alaska? Okay, I know I have been quoted multiple times by myself as saying that all crazy killers are from Indiana, but Anchorage really takes the cake. With 813 violent incidents per 100,000 people per year and more active serial killers than any other location in the United States, it's not exactly an ideal place to raise a family. And if you can't conjure up an Alaskan serial killer, I'll do it for you. Butcher Baker Robert Hansen is perhaps the most famous of all the Alaskan serial killers. Hansen was known for kidnapping female sex workers, flying them into the Alaskan wilderness in his small private plane, releasing them, waiting a little bit, and then hunting them like elk. So yeah, there is some next level shit happening over there. It's dark for like 60 days straight in some parts of Alaska, and there is no way a few folks aren't absolutely losing their mind and doing some impressively wild stuff. 3. Co-ed killer Edmund Kemper, the serial killer responsible for helping coin the phrase serial killer, is so smart that he recognizes his own sociopathy as a problem and freely admits that if he is ever set free, he'll be a danger to society. Because of this, he has refused to attend all of his parole hearings, citing that he is where he belongs. Kemper worked with FBI agents to develop a profile for people like him, which has in turn captured more than a few fellow serial killers. Don't mistake me for saying that Ed is a great guy, though. He most certainly is not, but he's definitely interesting. One of my favorite facts about Mr. Kemper is that at one point, he decided that he wanted to make the most of his jail time and began reading and recording books for the blind. So the possibility of thumbing through Audible and stumbling across a book being read to you from a maximum security prison by a man who used his own mother's severed head as a dartboard is a very real possibility. Kemper recorded a couple recognizable titles, but my favorite of them is the 80s incest thriller Flowers in the Attic by V.C. Andrews. And if you think I didn't find a clip of it for you, well, you're wrong.
Chapter 1. Goodbye, Daddy. Truly, when I was very young, way back in the 50s, I believed all of life would be like one long and perfect summer day. After all, it did start out that way. There's not much I can say about our earliest childhood, except that it was very good.
Okay, that's enough. There's a whole book of that, and if you want to find it, it's not very hard to do so. Woo! I kind of want to hear all of it, but also I don't want to hear all of it. The book is a lot without a serial killer reading it. Anyway, those are the 3 things this week that made me say, what the Friday. See you next week!